everyone would have an expectation in terms of meeting or working with Nicolas Cage. And it's exactly what you would expect it to be. To me, it obviously would have been a huge thing to work and to meet with Nicolas Cage, and it was. He was just as great as I expected him to be. He was just as strange as I expected him to be. He was just as funny. He was just as mysterious. He was just as thoughtful, open, and all the things that are stitched into his bubblegum pink leather motorcycle jacket.
The dynamic that I experienced with Pedro Pascal was very similar to the dynamic that you're getting in the movie, because we both are cinephiles, we're both film enthusiasts, and we both enjoy talking about movies. And Pedro and I both have pretty bizarre senses of humor. He's pretty out there with his comedy. I never know if he's joking or if he isn't joking, and that's great for that character, Javi, because you want to never really be too sure where this guy's going. Is he dangerous, or is he some kind of a goofball? And Pedro, as a talent, knows how to play that unpredictable edge. So he was fun to work with as a person who I enjoyed, but he was also just really superb in the film.
It's the most enjoyable time you're going to have watching Nick Cage.
It's a celebration of him and his abilities to sort of cross genre, everything from sort of the way the film moves from sort of an indie drama opening to sort of this great relationship he has with Pedro into like an action movie in Act 3. And I think that was the appeal for Tom and I as we wrote the film. It's like there are not any other actors I can think of that can really cross genres like that.
We're also fans. We love movies. It's a movie about making movies and writing movies and Nick's performances in movies. And for us, that it was just something that we wanted to see. We're fans, ourselves.
What did he say?
He says he loves you, but he went in a different direction.
I'm done. I'm quitting acting. Tell the trades, it was a tremendous honor to be a part of storytelling and myth-making.
Ah, man, I'm driving through the hills. I'm sorry. One more time?
2 or 3 times I said no. I don't think there was anything about the idea of playing myself in a movie with the name so-called Nick Cage that was anything but terrifying to me. I mean, it really was scary because I didn't know what the tone was going to be. So I turned it down. And then Tom Gormican wrote me a very enthusiastic, sincere, and intelligent letter about some of the early work and what he really wanted to do. Yes, it is a comedy, but he also saw it as a celebration of sorts of the filmography. And what really put the hook in me with Tom Gormican's vision was that he wanted to do a series of vignettes where the Nick Cage character is in this cabinet of Dr. Caligari kind of zone with Leaving Las Vegas. Very quick, but still the black and white, the makeup, the set direction, the art direction, Gone in 60 Seconds, and Face Off. And it was that and the combination of playing this other version of so-called Nick Cage, Nicky. And Nicky is the younger version that's constantly writing Nick and trying to convince him to be a movie star and stop with all these art house movies. And I love that character. He was a lot of fun to play. For me, he steals the show. He's so much fun. And he's not unlike, well, he is like, I designed him after that guest starring appearance on the Wogan show in England back in 1990 when I was just completely obnoxious and irreverent and arrogant and crazy. And that was the guy I wanted to play in this movie as Nicky. He was somewhere there because I don't really like that guy. I'm embarrassed that I ever was that guy, and I thought he needs to be re-examined, re-explored.
We got another offer. It's $1 million. It's to attend a wealthy gentleman's birthday party.
I would never do that.
It's the easiest gig ever. You play yourself.
What do we know about this guy anyway? Is he into something strange?
It's not like he's gonna want you to suck his or f his wife or watch you watch him fuck his wife.
I wouldn't think so.
Welcome to Mallorca, Mr. Cage.
The guy that owns this house, what's his name?
Javi.
Is Javi gonna want me to
I am Javi.
Nick Cage.
It's so sincere as well. Like it's a really heartfelt movie. It's so funny, but it's also so touching. Like it feels very real and at the same time so absurd and comedic. It's great.
It's very surreal, I think, for Kevin and I to be thinking about this character based on Nicolas Cage and creating this version of him and in our minds, and then finally getting to meet him. And I think in the most interesting moments, there was a lot of crossover between who we had created and who he is. And maybe he played into that a little bit. And so that was really sort of fun and strange and kind of rewarding in the end.
What I enjoyed about my character is that he was so easy to relate to because he's a super fan of Nicolas Cage. And the second thing that I really enjoyed about my character is he's a rich guy in Mallorca, which meant we were shooting on the beach. And that was the second best part. There's an acid trip. We get drunk together, we bond, we almost kill each other, we jump off a cliff.
What is your favorite movie?
That's one of those questions that's impossible to answer. You can't just limit it to one.
Imagine me and you, I do. Is it too much?
Is this supposed to be me? It's grotesque. I'll give you 20,000 for it. A cliff? We could have died!
What did Nicolas Cage learn about himself playing Nick Cage? I think it was more of like not learning, so to speak, but actually validating an idea of mine that is, if there's something you're afraid of within reason, as long as you're not hurting yourself or somebody else, that's the very thing you should go toward, because you might learn something. I see myself as a student of filmmaking and film performance, but I also thought this experience was daunting. I was terrified of it. I always felt I was on a high wire. I was always very nervous about lapsing into the realm of mocking whatever I've been doing or whatever my so-called aura is in the public perception, the zeitgeist, if you will. And what I learned is I was right to make the choice. I'm valid in thinking go towards what you're afraid of. That's what I would say Nicolas Cage learned about this Tom Gorman vision of so-called Nick Cage.